Okay, everybody, it's time.
Today's a big day.
It's a big day. Yes, we're going to be melting crayons
Woo!
and making new crayons.
Cool, I can't wait.
That's exciting.
That is.
So, do you remember yesterday when we talked about reversible and irreversible changes and what that means?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me what a reversible change is?
Sure. I remember zipping up my jacket, and a reversible change is when something can be undone,
Yes.
and then it can be put back to the way that it was before.
And what was an irreversible change? Explain that to me.
All right, so the irreversible change, I remember mixing that blue paint and the white paint, and once we mixed it all together, there was no way of separating those two colors and getting them back into the correct container. So irreversible means that once it's mixed together, that change cannot be undone.
Thank you so much.
You bet.
So, I want you guys to think about, can you show us what you have in your hand?
You know what? I brought a box of crayons today.
Crayons.
Yep, just brand new pointy crayons with the wrappers on and everything.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We're going to be using those.
All
And we're
right.
going to be using this little wax thing here, or rubber thing here. It's called a mold. So what we're going to be doing is melting the crayons
Ooh.
in the staff kitchen. So you guys also get a
Ooh.
tour of the school kitchen. Okay.
They're gonna trust us in there?
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Stick around to find out. You guys need to make a prediction. Is melting a crayon a reversible, meaning it can be undone, or an irreversible change? And then right here in the blank box, you're going to tell me why you think it's reversible or irreversible. This is all you, okay? And then the second section right here, what we're going to do, we're going to walk you guys with us into the kitchen. We're actually going to melt these crayons down in a pan over the stove. And we're going to pour that melted wax from the crayon into these molds to create new crayons, right? So you're going to also answer number 2 by the next lesson, because it's not all going to be done in today's lesson. The wax in the molds will be what? Do you think it's still going to be melted? Think it's going to be a solid again, meaning it's like a whole thing that's not liquid anymore?
Like a nice hard crayon again?
Yeah, a nice hard crayon.
Is it going to turn into a butterfly? I don't know.
Is it going to evaporate into the sky and disappear? What's going to happen?
Find out.
And then when we get in there, you guys, the first thing you're going to do is draw a picture of this crayon. So if you can hold one of those crayons up, and you guys know what crayons look like. If you can draw a picture of the crayon, what it looks like right now. It's got a wrapper, whatever color crayon you want to choose, that's fine. Make sure you put the color on it. And you're just going to draw a picture of a crayon in its solid original form in this bottom box where it says solid. Here is our before picture, okay? Now, Miss Marquardt,
Yeah.
we're going to head into the kitchen,
All right.
okay? So I'm going to
excited.
follow you.
Okay.
You guys ready?
All right. Let's go.
You guys remember this room? These are our mailboxes. We got some Valentine's treats. This is our empty staff room right now. There's our water. There's our fridge. Oh, and look, Miss Marquardt,
Oh, hey.
we already got some stuff set up here.
How about that?
Okay, you won't be seeing us, but you'll be hearing us as we walk you guys through this. What do you have here?
All right. So to get us started, we have some crayons that we took the wrappers off of already.
Uh-huh.
We have our silicone mold, which is going to be where we pour the wax when we're done. And it's on a paper plate so we don't make a big mess. We would never do that. And we have a frying pan that is heating up right now that we are going to be putting the crayons into.
Important to tell you, because if you want to try this at home, use a non-stick frying pan because it's a lot easier to clean.
And maybe one that you're not going to use for breakfast tomorrow morning.
Because you might have crayons in your eggs if you do that. All right, so Miss Marquardt,
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what would be one way to help these crayons melt really fast.
Well, we already took the wrapper off, which is a really smart choice
Yes.
because we don't want to burn that. But they are pretty large.
Okay.
So I was thinking maybe we could break them up into smaller pieces before we put them into the pan.
That's a great idea. Let's do that. What,
All right.
shall I help you?
Sure.
Okay. Breaking crayons in the staff room.
Don't tell anyone
Hope the principal doesn't get mad at
that
us.
we're here.
Cooking crayons, cooking crayons. All right. You have your next square on the next page
asks you to draw a picture of what it looks like while it's melting, which is right now. What do these crayons look like while they're melting? Are they fully solid like they were originally? Are they fully a liquid? Are the colors mixing? Draw a picture of what you see right now in the next square that says melting.
Ooh, they are melting pretty quickly.
Pretty quickly. This is exciting. Miss Marquardt, I kind of want them to move quicker though.
You know what I was thinking?
What could we do to make
Maybe
it?
we could use a little stirring stick.
Oh, good job. Let's do
And
that.
I could mix them.
Stir it up.
Oh my.
Stir it up.
Really mixing.
Ooh, that looks pretty. Looks like
Yeah.
tie-dye.
I'm gonna turn that way down. Because we're... All right.
Okay,
Wow.
we
I
are
think-
pretty much all melted now, and we are
Wow.
ready to transfer our melted crayons into the silicone. Thank you for telling me what material that was made out
No
of.
problem.
It's not rubber,
Just
and
snuck
it's
that
not
in
wax. Pour that into one
right.
of those molds. Let's see what happens.
Right. I'm gonna see if we can get this in.
Ooh,
I think I was able to fill up a couple of them, which is pretty cool.
sweet. Okay. So you guys were also supposed to draw a picture of it when it was completely melted. Okay? So right before we poured it into that mold, this is going well.
It's really going well.
Right before we poured it into that mold, what did it look like? Okay, now, Miss Marquardt, you want to transfer this back
Yeah.
with me? We'll clean this up later, Miss Andrade. Don't worry, okay?
Maybe. I'm gonna try not to spill this as I bring it back.
Okay.
I
Looking
love
good.
how it turned into like a green, like puke color.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's usually what happens when you just like mix all the colors.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna get brown, but we didn't. That's pretty cool.
Very cool. Hi, kids. Okay, so we're gonna finish off our paper right here.
Check that out.
Oh, that looks really cool. There is our wax in its molds. She filled up like 3.5. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So you guys should have already filled out a picture of our solid before crayon here, a picture of it while it was melting right here when it was partially solid, partially liquid, and then the melted square is what did it look like when it was completely melted right before we poured it into the mold when it was all liquid. Okay? Now, we're gonna go down to reflect. We're not gonna be able to see what our completed crayons from the mold look like until our next science lesson because they need time to
Yeah, they need dry. They need
Time
to
to dry.
and
Harden,
whatever they're
right?
gonna do.
Yeah,
Turn
whatever
into
they're
a
gonna do.
butterfly.
turn into a butterfly. Yeah, popcorn.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love popcorn.
Me too.
All right.
Let's talk about this reflect section right here. It says, would you build a bridge out of wax? And I'm pretty sure crayons are made out of wax.
They are.
Okay, why or why not?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, I know bridges aren't made out of wax.
They're not.
For
They're
a
usually
reason.
made out of like steel.
So, yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
have to think about that. Knowing what you know about, crayons and what they do when it gets really warm,
Uh-huh.
you might want to consider whether it would be a
Yeah.
good idea to build a bridge or not.
Think about if you had a bridge in like the desert.
Where it's really,
Really
sunny,
hot. What would happen to that bridge in
and
the
really
heat
hot.
with a car on it that's thousands of pounds?
I don't know if that would go over very well.
So that's your job to figure out whether you think a bridge should be built out of wax, why or why not. And that is it for today's science lesson.